Hi, everyone. My name is Lynn. I'm an American who's been living in Greece for over a decade. And today I'm speaking to you from Paleochora in Crete. People sometimes come to me asking where I recommend they consider if they want to live on a Greek island full time. And my top choice is almost always Crete. And that is because Crete gives you a lot of the upsides to living on an island without a lot of the downsides. So in this video, I'm going to talk about why I think Crete is such a great destination, and I'm also going to talk about Paleochora, the place that I am today. So Crete, the first thing I want to point out is its size. Crete is a big island. The World Atlas lists it as the 88th biggest island in the world. And for any of you who might be from the United States, or if you've lived in the United States, it is about the size of the state of Delaware. So it's a big island. And what that means is you're going to get a lot of infrastructure. And when you're looking for island living in general, infrastructure is your friend. That's the thing that's going to make your life a lot easier. So when I say infrastructure, what do I mean? So for example, getting here, how will you get to Crete? There are 3 airports. So there are 2 international and 1 national airport, and that means you're going to have a lot more flight choices. There are also several passenger ports. So you can come by ferry. And for example, I was coming with my dog and with my car, so I took an overnight ferry from Athens to Chania, and that was really comfortable. And later in this video, I'll share with you what you can do to make your ferry travel really comfortable. So getting here is easier than some of the other islands. You'll be able to fly in, or you can usually take a ferry depending on where you're starting from. So then there's the question of healthcare. How are you going to get your medical needs met? And this is a place Crete really delivers. It has 5 public hospitals, and it has a very well-developed private healthcare sector. So what that means is if you have a problem here in Crete, most likely you'll be able to get your needs met without having to leave the island. And this is a very practical concern. It seems like it might be just theoretical, but it's not. By way of example, I was running a surf and yoga retreat on the island of Ikaria. One of my participants broke her knee in a surf accident, and we had to go in the middle of the night to the port and put her on a ferry to get to Athens so she could get the treatment that she needed. So these are very real concerns, but here in Crete, you are probably going to be able to get your needs met here on the island. So that's a really big benefit. The weather. Lots of times people come to Greece because they're looking for sunshine, and if you are coming to Crete looking for that, you will not be disappointed. This is one of the sunniest places on Earth. It averages over 300 sunny days per year. So for those of you who want sun, this is a great place to be, but I wouldn't want anyone to leave thinking, oh, it's just sunny beaches. No, Crete actually also has mountain ranges. So it has 3 mountain ranges that are over 2,000 meters high. So that's over 6,600 feet high, which means that they actually get snow caps at certain points during the year. So it's got a lot of diversity. If you like hiking, if you like the outdoors, you're really going to find a lot in Crete because you can hike in the mountains or you can enjoy the beaches. The beaches themselves are worth talking about. Crete has a lot of amazing beaches. Probably the most high profile one is a beach called Elafonissi. And it just won an award as being the 2nd best beach in the world. And that award was from the TripAdvisor Traveler's Choice Awards. People hear that. A lot of people think Elafonissi is actually not my favorite beach. And I do understand that. It's actually kind of touristy and it does get really crowded. But it did win that award, so it's worth checking out if you're interested in that. Crete also has over 150 blue flag beaches. So a blue flag beach is an international designation. There are over 80 countries that participate in the program, where they test for water quality, for safety, for facilities, for environmental protection. So if you have a blue flag beach, you know that it has a certain high quality standard there. So in the background here, you can see the Greek flag to the right and then a blue flag in the middle. That's what it looks like. And here in Paleochora, where just in front of my hotel, this is a blue flag beach, and you'll see them all over Crete. So that's really worth checking out. For any of you who are animal lovers, the biggest dog sanctuary in Greece is also in Crete. Takis Animal Shelter is absolutely worth checking out. He has over 400 dogs and over 80 cats, and they're really well organized. So you sign up and you can take a tour of that facility. But usually if you go to shelters, it can be kind of a depressing experience, and this is the opposite. It's really inspiring. So if you get a chance, definitely check out the Takis shelter. So that's a little bit about Crete. Now let's talk about Paleochora.
Greece is one of the world's best retirement destinations, a country that we have been reporting on for more than 2 decades, and which has quietly, though recently meteorically, climbed its way up International Living's annual Global Retirement Index. That is where we compare, contrast, rank, and rate 24 of the top retirement destinations across 7 useful categories, from cost of living to healthcare, housing, climate, and more. There is a lot of good Greece intel in there. Find out how you can grab a copy by scanning the QR code right on the screen.
I had never heard of this place, but a good friend of mine, her husband's family is from here and they come every summer. So I started coming to visit them every summer. It has several thousand people who live in it, and it is about an hour and a half, about 90 minutes from Hanya. So in my example, I took the ferry from Athens, arrived at the port in Hanya, and then drove 90 minutes to get here. In my last video about Litochora in the mountains, I got lots of comments about calling it a village when it had several thousand people. And those comments were actually right. Technically, there's no technical designation for a village, but usually a village means several hundred people, not thousands. Then there's a town, but in Greek, there's a word that's kind of that lands in between. It's called a komopoli. So Paleochora would be a good example of a komopoli. This is something that has several thousands of people. It's not tens of thousands, but it does have several thousand people who live here year round. And what that means is you're going to get some of that infrastructure that I was talking about. So there is a medical center here. There's a school here. There are several grocery stores. There are ATMs. There's a bank. So you can get your basic needs met. It is very full here in the summertime because it's got several beaches, which I'll show you later. And then it really quiets down in the winter. So kind of just keep those things in mind. While it does have a medical center here, the nearest hospital is in Hanya, about 90 minutes away. So keep that again in mind if you're kind of planning out where you think you want to make home. There is a hospital nearby, but it's not super close. You'd have to drive about an hour and a half. That's just a quick overview of Paleochora. Let's go on a walking tour. Paleochora was historically a working fishing village, but in the 70s and 80s, it began to become a tourist destination, first for hippies and then more for the mainstream. The town has an unusual location. It's on a peninsula. So there's 2 distinct sides. On the west, you have long sandy beaches, and on the east, it's a more stony, pebbly beach experience. What you're seeing here is the west, and this is Amos, which is a blue flag beach. This is one of the sandy beaches, and it's very popular in Paleochora. To go between the 2 sides, you just walk through the town, and it's a really nice walk. It takes about 5 minutes. You'll see lots of bars, tavernas, restaurants, shops. There is a big Greek Orthodox church in the center, and you will even see the ruins of a Venetian castle. So it's a really nice walk till you go between the 2 sides. When you get to the other side, you'll see a stonier seaside and then also a big promenade. And the promenade has, again, lots of tavernas, restaurants, cafes. There's a lot of places to relax. And it's really magical at night. So at nighttime, it's lit up. It's very lively. This is also the point if you were trying to take a ferry, for example, to go to Gavdos, the southernmost part of Europe. This is the place that you would go. And now we're going to talk to my friend Maria. Maria is Greek. She's from Athens, but her husband's family is from Paleochora, so they have roots here. And I asked her to share who she thought would be a good match for living full-time in Paleochora. And this is what she has to say.
Who is ideal to come and live here might be people who are about to get their pension. They want a slower pace of living. They want to try outdoor activities and stay in the nature because the sea and the mountains and the villages, they offer a lot of time in the nature. Paleochora is not a good choice if you want to live your life, your nightlife. There's not much of a nightlife, not clubs, places where you will find lively, loud beach bars. No, you won't find those here. But you would find amazing food, taste, wine, raki. You'd find secret paths. You might discover one because people find their ways always. We just found an archery place. Who knew that there is one here? But this place is for all ages. For people who don't speak Greek, might be an interesting choice because most of the people have something touristic as a side job, like a hotel, an Airbnb, some shop with souvenirs, a taverna. So more or less everyone speaks English, so you will communicate.
So in the end, is Paleochora right for you?
Greece is one of the world's best retirement destinations, a country that we have been reporting on for more than 2 decades, and which has quietly, though recently meteorically, climbed its way up International Living's annual Global Retirement Index. That is where we compare, contrast, rank, and rate 24 of the top retirement destinations across 7 useful categories, from cost of living to healthcare, housing, climate, and more. There is a lot of good Greece intel in there. Find out how you can grab a copy by scanning the QR code right on the screen.
I don't know. If you want a big city with lots of action, it is probably not the right choice. But if you're looking for a slower pace and something that's along the sea on a big island, it is definitely worth checking out. So that's Crete, and that is Paleochora. I had mentioned that I came to Crete by ferry, and I wanted to talk just for a minute about that trip. There's lots of reasons to consider ferry travel. It can be less expensive than flying. It can give you more options if you want to bring your car or your pet, and there are environmental factors, or some people just like the experience of slow travel. In my case, I am traveling with a nervous 55-pound dog. So what we did to make it easy is I got a private pet-friendly cabin. And this is essentially almost like booking a hotel room. So it's quite comfortable. To state what might not be obvious, it's a private room that allows pets. So there's not going to be other pets with you. It would just be you and your pet in this room. It has a full bathroom, so a shower, toilet, sink, everything you need to be comfortable. And what we did is we checked on a little bit early because my dog is very nervous. So I brought her early before the crowds came. We booked into our room, and then it was basically like being in a hotel room. The ferry left at 9 p.m. and we arrived in Suda, the port for Hania, at about 6 in the morning. If you end up doing that, whether you are in a cabin or on a deck chair, there are several restaurants. So there's a range, there's cafes, there's a self-service cafeteria, there's also a full sit-down restaurant, so lots of choices. And there's even shopping. So ferry travel is actually a lot more comfortable than I think some people imagine. And particularly if you're able to do it with a cabin, it can be quite comfortable. In terms of cost, I'm not even going to try to estimate the cost because it will depend a lot on where you're going in the season, but you can go to ferryhopper.com and put in the details and see the options for either deck seating, for business seating, or for cabins. But it's a really nice way to make the travel part of the adventure. I actually look forward to my ferry rides to and from Crete because it is so comfortable and it's kind of fun. So that was the final thing I wanted to mention for Crete. Thank you for watching.